And hello, Professor Bright here. And welcome back to the Book of Hours and Hush House, where we find ourselves armed with skills that aren't quite skills, honestly, because these are just things, I'm afraid. That said, these are... I suppose knowledge would be a better term for these. But more important to me is somehow we can use wolf stories, along with effort, to get something in the summer. What, I do not know, but I am curious about that. More important to me, though, and perhaps not to the progression of this game, I'm not entirely sure, is we now have a thing that provides 2 knock on top of our current soul cards, which provide knock. I'm sorry, one moment. Okay, no, you provide scale, lantern, and moon. Okay, I just had a thought that maybe I had a skill as well that provides... Yes. But that is neither here nor there. Actually, I wonder, should I consider this first? Would that perhaps be a better idea? Let's see here. Winter, which would be whist. I believe yes. Including at least 1 lesson. Huh. Well, I have already committed it, unfortunately. But it says memory. Could I use a different memory and something that is not a lesson? Let's see what memories I find before I go committing things. And in the meantime, consider this. Actually, let's see what memories we have. Sun, which is lantern, which is useless. Well, I say that. But then we have Sunrise Awakenings. Because we have this opportunity, which does mean I won't be able to increase my skill, but we endure. Perfect. Perfect in every way. Oh wait, does that not have... That is bothersome. Okay, well... Yes. And unless I'm much mistaken, no, you're a skill, not okay. I read this skill icon as a lantern icon. I think that's obvious, but yeah. Well, I might have made a mistake here. Let's see if I can't find somebody. Traveling barber offers moth and a little bit of rose. How much is a little bit, though? Because I'm looking at, you know, the first true threshold here, and I see 3 rose. How much is a little bit, though? Let's see what unusual help might be available. It might end up being nothing, but we'll see. If nothing else, worth the looking, I suppose. Oh dear. Not the most auspicious start, but we endure. Still somewhat bothered that I don't know what I can use you for. Unless whist, or not whist, no whist. I'm gonna get whist and tryst all tangled together. And actually, knowledge, which is a skill, which is nectar. Alas that I lack it. And alas that I no longer have that guest, which is really kind of bothering me, I'm gonna be honest. Could have made better use of him. Now. An opportunity to add a soul element. Ah! See, I needed that, but for this book is the issue. Ah! It's fine. It's fine. Oh, sister of the triple knot. Well, hello. An unusual nun on an unusual pilgrimage. Her I can definitely use. Hello. Hi, I have money. Nuns don't usually travel alone. Accurate. Alright, tell me about yourself. 4 knock, okay. 4 knock and 4 grail, you say? Well, if you don't mind too terribly... Get back here. If you would, please. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm really annoyed by that too, by the way. Please stop reminding me. I swear, if I try to translate or delve into... That's disturbing as hell. But yes, if I try to delve into Traveling at Night Volume 1, and I don't get at least 2 skill things, I'm gonna be real annoyed. But anyway, Quartz Chunk. Hello. You're a thing containing rose. Curious. Ice Rock Twinkling Light. A material that might become something if I put it in something. Well, I suppose you can live there for now. There's as good a place as any. Hello, though. Lady Rowena. For as long as there's been a Hush House, there have been stories of its enigmatic protectress. And Lady de Bros, sometimes known affectionately as the First Ava. Lady de Braus? I'm gonna go with Braus. Never visited the Isle, but it was her generous endowment that allowed the Abbey to thrive and grow in the 13th century. Hendrik de Wolf. First Baron Bankrug, known for his pious, merciless justice, granted Bankrug Isle in 1536 after the dissolution of St. Brandom's. Valentine de Wolf, 6th Baron Bankrug, known for his eccentricities. In the sky he sought his friends, an inscription reads. Oh, I bet there's something to do with moving these around. Sister, Priestess, Oracle, Queen? A very old image from the Dawn period with a simple inscription. Authority. Once the Shepherd's Crook represented the authority of the church. Perhaps the Suppression Bureau kept it here because they liked the idea of authority in general. Curiosities upon curiosities. Yeah, unfortunately I have no lantern to feed you. Which bothers me to some extent, but here we are. The Grand Descent. The stairs here are clear, but the air here is thick with old magics. I should move carefully, and I should not go alone. Still no sign of any fire. Why then was the house abandoned? Why indeed? Nope, not a suitable bit of knowledge. A memory of fear, though. Alright, now to the thing that I actually think I can beat. Although, actually, do I have anything with moon, perhaps? Hold that thought. No. Well, let's go with this. Since 2 out of the 3 options I have something that can deal with knock. This would require a lantern. This requires edge or heart or moon or winter. Wait a moment. I can add something that has soiled here? Hold. Have something cleaned at the Sweet Bones. Ah. That's annoying. But okay, I can work with that. I'll question the villagers of... That one doesn't make sense to me, but I'll see what it does. Now, you. Perfect. Ubi sunt? Where are my kindred? Where is the giver of treasure? Where are the benches to bear us? Joys of the hall to bring us together. This mood increases certain aspects. But it is unnecessary because we have Shapt, and thus I can unlock this mystery. There's still a chance. What do you mean there's still a chance? We've done it. Have we not? I'm reading. The wood lies outside the walls of the mansis. As any student of the histories knows, the mansis has no walls. I've read. I'm reading and I've read. Ilopoli describes how he came to make repeated visits to a dream wood via what he calls silver dreams. Trying to think your way to the wood, he explains, is like thinking your way to being in love. But I did find a secret that helped. A memory of impulse and a lesson, edicts liminal. This being a moth and nectar. Hold a moment. No. No, I'm afraid these memories aren't going to be enough. Alas, but here we are. Edicts Liminal, which appears to have knock and moth. We'll take it. So I assume then that I am done with this text and can put it back with no ill effects. Of course, where do I want to store books that I'm done with? Well, I'll have to figure that out eventually. Hold on, the subject tells me what this does. Okay, so hold that thought. Subject, oral contemplations, to know what will pass in what has passed. The practitioners of this discipline see endings and beginnings, passages and transitions in the same mode as dawn and sunset. That tells me precious little. But I take what I can. And now I have 4 moth if I use this correctly. A memory of hindsight, scale and winter. Hold that thought. Mystery is winter. Mist would need to be restored, but I can do that. Can I do it quickly enough, though? No. No, because this takes a minute and change, and unfortunately I've made the mistake, once again, of just taking too long with that. Bothersome. Alright, so hold. Alright. I made the mistake of not pausing the game, and that has sort of cost me this. But, oh well. I need to build up money, though, so I can clean the linens, so I can keep everything else running, as it were. And then we will go from there. Oh dear. The thing is, I just don't know what Sea Holly does. So I'm somewhat left to my own devices there. Oh, hello, you're apparently stuck on one. There's a prophecy of a glorious city that mortals could raise, but the hours of the Chancellor have decreed that it will not exist. The decrees of the Chancellor are not defied, but now and then they have been circumvented, and we might conceive that a city with walls of shining flint could be raised in dreams. In the Mansis, this would be Nyctodromy. That which walks in dreams, one of the 9 parts of the human soul. And given that I've apparently used up my other option for using this, I think it best we assign it. And get me more moth. Ah, useful. Okay. We have a very diverse soul, and I'm not sure if that's good or bad, if I should specialize or if I should go wide, but, well, that's how it is in every game, isn't it? Go tall or go wide. Which do you choose? Either way, I've got enough mystique to tell fortunes for pennies. Perhaps not. Alright, now, question. Well, let me see what I get first, before I go a-worrying. Before we do anything else, let's see what happens. What memories does it give me to start with? Lantern? Okay, well, that solves that problem for me. I believe one of you contains lantern. There you are, whist. Although, winter wouldn't be the worst of ideas. Actually, winter would be perfect. So yeah, instead of, sorry, not talking, considering. And then we're done. Alright, that having been easily dealt with. Let's get a little bit of money out of the deal. And then we consider what to unlock next. Actually, I say that. If only I had something that had some nectar knowledge in it. Alas. Well, we'll see what we find. Make a little bit of money, because no matter what, I need to deal with that. And I don't have anything with any amount of heart or nectar, do I? In terms of books, I should specify. Okay, and then I can use books. Alright, let's see what memory I get out of doing that. It's a curious thing. Yeah, I'm afraid the rest of these books are a bit above my pay grade, as it were. Yep, of course it's just gonna have to live there, I guess. I have no choice in the matter. Oh, dearie dear. Hmm? Let's see what I can find for shilling. Moth and a little bit of rose. And I could actually find out about that. Let's see. What do we have for moth? Moth. Absolutely nothing. That is good and properly useless. I might have use for... One moment. No, that's lantern in winter. Let's see what I can get with shapt and a shilling. You know, the soul card probably does affect who I get to pick up there, and I probably should pay attention to that. I'm sorry, the prologue warns at length of the iniquities of one Julian Cosley, a former colleague who Hersault now describes darkly as a worm of worms. It seems Cosley advised Hersault early in the writing of the book, but Hersault later became suspicious. Hersault identifies blood, silver, design, and the worms as the central axes of each of the histories, and claims that the so-called second history is the true one. Lesson Snow. Snow stories. I've gained more understanding of snow stories. Use this card with consider. And hindsight, which grants me more winter. Well, we have an introduction to histories mastered. No, you're going to live there for now. Books that I've mastered, we will leave there. So they at least have a home, if not the best home. Aiming to find out some way. Oh. Let's hold off on that for a moment. Because that would grant me a craft Eigenrau. Inks of Content with Prentice level winter creates Eigenrau. Or for a scholar level recipe, crush a flower in and mix a pale and chilling draft, rather. I'm just curious what Eigenrau is. Apparently we're distilling something in this, which I don't fully understand at all. A memory impulse. And I'm terribly sorry, I didn't pay attention here. You're still processing. Alright, so that gets me moth. Traveling at night to get me a moth memory. We'll see what Eigengrau does to me. And unfortunately, a quick review says no moth here. But regardless, I have another skill, so let's get that going. Shoot. I've used up both lessons of Inks of Containment, and so I cannot... I am making a mistake as we speak, and I can't undo it. Oh well. Choices have been made. Terrible choices, but choices nonetheless. Well, let's see what's available on the tree. Seeing as I have no choice. Much is lost, still all the winds, still every beating tongue. Let's see, is there anything that tells me... Hello. Oh, I have choices. Much remains. Okay. Medusa's riddle. First, what is not seen? The night, the heart, the moon, the day between. The palest key, the birth-scarred coil queen. This is bird song. And then there's much is lost. Still all the winds, still the beating tongue. Now still the mirrored moon, the sea's cauldron. When nothing's left, then nothing is undone. Hushery. I am going to go with the more hopeful, much remains. To grant me Tryst, which gives me more moth, effectively. And now that that's more organized... Do I have anything that requires moth? Pardon. No. Well, yes, but that requires much more moth than I have. But not necessarily more winter than I have. Moon, knock, moon. So I wonder. It kind of all depends on where I can find more lantern aspect, doesn't it? But I have some more moth, and that is useful. True, true. I have nothing further to catalog, so nothing to do there. A surrealist painter who provides grail, moth, and rose. You just want a shilling? You want a florin. Ah. Well, that being the case... Actually, you don't provide nearly enough money. 6 pence, worth it. Less than that, not really worth it. You would have been perfect, honestly. If I just had more money. Eigengrau. If Grey Dawn oil were drinkable. Evidently, this is a restorative. Unfortunately, by using up those memories, I can no longer improve my inks of containment. Which I should have considered. Oh well. Alas, for I am a fool. Okay, there's no suitable recipe available here. Good to know. Alright, so actually hold that thought. Do I have anything else I can get to a 5? I can get Moth to a 5, I can get Winter to a 5, which gets me Eigengrau, which I don't really see the use of. It's a restorative, yes, but I'm like... There are some things it's wise to drink in the morning, and others it's wiser to drink in the evening. Fair, I don't know what that is in this case. For rest and recovery, you say? I think for now I need to focus on just building up money. I think that might need to be my focus for a bit. It's a shame, because I could really have used you. I just don't have the resources. Oh well. Sometimes you roll the dice and just don't have what you need to keep rolling the dice. Hmm. And we'll throw in some manual labor, why not? Real shame, because these are good oh, hold up. Do I have anything else with sky in it? No? Bother. Two pence and a florin, and there she goes. Let's first focus on getting ourselves improved. Nectar? Okay. A follow-up question. This I would need to use health for. Oh, hello. What is this? Attuned to Arab. Effective against theoplasmic contamination. This skill can be used to remove theoplasmic contamination from books. The skill is attuned to my Fet. When you committed this skill to the tree, you gain Fet. Find somewhere with a matching evolve aspect, and you can use the skill once only to combine 2 Fet cards into a strength. Oh. Interesting. So these inks of containment, they have a different use. Alright. Unclear exactly how I'm going to make use of that, but we'll learn. One way or another, more will be learned. Question, remind me, what are the, Traveling Barber offers moth. Can I use moth for any of this? Because that would be convenient. No. Sorry, fellow. You're great and all, but not what I need. Let's see what unusual help I can find. Nectar and Grail, though. Useful aspects that I don't really have anything that uses, unfortunately. I'm a little bit stuck. And also I've screwed up catastrophically by not using those lessons to actually improve my skills. But, oh well. I'm learning. And it is painful to watch, I'm sure. But sometimes you squander opportunities. Skulking nearby a fugitive who possesses edge and heart, which is more or less what I need. Someone's taken a room upstairs for the night. He hasn't shown his face, but the village is abuzz with gossip. Hello, friend. You look like you could use a shilling. And by a shilling, I mean a florin. That's most of my money you've just taken from me, but okay. Hey, buddy! Hold your noise, called a terrible voice as a man Hold up. Sorry. Called a terrible voice as a man started up from among the graves at the side of the church porch. A fair-filled man, all in coarse grey, with a great iron on his leg, a man with no hat, and with broken shoes and with an old rag tied around his head. From Dickens. Hey, you can help me with this ground floor ascent, right? In just the nick of time, no less. Oh, here. Ah, my foolishness. I didn't realize that unpausing it would have it... Well. I think it's obvious what I didn't know. Oh well. Money to be acquired and all that. Let's do it again. Alright. Third Baron Bankrock. A niche with a plaque, "Who commanded the raising of this stair?" Oh. I don't know where I got it from, but that's what it said, yes? Yes, okay. Delightful repose. Hush House has been called bleak, but usually only by those who have never been inside. Placed by the curia of the isle to allow a rest before an ascent or after a descent. A niche with a plaque, "Who commanded this raising of this stair?" Odd, but okay. Consider this Dr. Serena Blackwell. Investigate it. I'm curious. Ambrose Westcott liked to name his hunting trophies after former rivals whom, he said, his trophies resembled. A ruinous hall. This place was bright and busy once, it can be again, but it'll be grueling work to make it so. Not suitable work for a librarian. In a dimly lit chamber. Van Loren's old protections hang heavy in the air here. Clogging the air with shadows, I'll need counter-influences to unwind them. And then the first floor. Now let's see what we get out of this. I still haven't found, like, a proper library room. But okay. We endure. Now, do any of you have lantern aspect to you? You do not. Well. There's a chance I get a thing that requires that. Assistance from an orchard keeper. Perfect, actually. Not for getting inside, but for other matters. A memory of sight, and with this, I should be able to get through our book. No one is in the picture, only an empty garden. I believe I didn't look at something there, but not terribly concerned at the moment, because I think... There you are. None of you have any lantern, right? I believe we established this already, but I just wanted to be sure. Start on it. If I can use a memory, we are good to go. Ah, you have less than I would have liked. But in Cornwall, it is quite possible to take a stride from the richest... Yes. Making sure I was still paused there. Which... Should this have been possible? If it was paused, what the heck is going on? Oh well, it's been said in mockery that Cornwall does not grow enough wood enough to make coffins for the people. I did not read that properly, sorry. One more attempt, for sake of completion. In Cornwall, it is quite possible to take a stride from the richest vegetation into the abomination of desolation. It's been said in mockery that Cornwall does not grow wood enough to make coffins for the people. Sabine Baring Gould. Yes, and despite her very questionable amount of nectar, can I make use of her still? Well, she has heart, at least. If I could just increase either of those aspects by 2, you'd be perfect. Let's see what can be done. Excellent. I'm ready to lend my limbs. Boosts heart, scale, and nectar, which should be enough, then. Won't get us through some of the more difficult things, but it'll get me through this weed-choked garden, and we'll see what we get from there. Alas, I lack the knowledge I need to actually harvest anything from this particular garden, but we'll see about this weed-choked garden, and go from there. This one, though. This one has me interested. Not that I can do anything with that interest, but, well. Question, we're sure that these don't progress when they're paused. Yes, good. An advertisement from Cater and Hero. alive to the possibility of commerce, has sent a smudgely printed catalogue addressed to the Librarian. Catering Harrow has offices almost everywhere, not in this misty limb of the kingdom, but they will at least deliver here. Use ink to order items of interest. A few lines on an order form won't consume the ink. When your delivery arrives, it'll contain a new order form. Oh. A new season. And this... Well, I need money, first and foremost, before I can, well, really do anything. Oh, dear. Help us with the garden, would you? At least we get something out of her. Now let me think. Rose? No. Now let's see what Lantern brings to us. Oh. Well, hello. Interested in Sky of all things. I have a book for you, then. But you. Okay, I can make use of that. I believe there was something. Though perhaps I'm wrong. You, good sir. Visitor, the affair of the god in the wood. Musician, mystic, impresario, Agdistus was a dancer once. One cannot see him without knowing it. The wound in his thigh keeps him from the stage, but his every movement still has the cadence of a prayer. How do you do, librarian? I crave your assistance. I've heard of this venture in Germany where the customers go in as beggars and come out as painters. I'm not interested in beggars or in painting usually, but this... Try a book with as much mystery heart as their interest. Alas that I do not have such a thing. But let's chat. I can identify my visitors' interests and satisfy them with an appropriate book. Alternatively, if they know a language I'd like to learn, I can offer payment. Untrustworthy visitors might occasionally abscond with a book. A concern, especially given that I haven't actually learned this one. But how much? Fair. My visitor has questions about the matters of the lower heavens. My collection has answers. We hope that they are trustworthy. If they aren't, well, then we're unfortunately in a very bad position. Oh, I've already used that, though. Ah, so I will need to use wall art or something. It specifically needs to be a wall art, huh? Bothersome. Look at a perfectly usable bit of lantern right here, but okay, fine. I mean, fractured mirror. This does count? Okay. I assume that that counts. We're gonna learn. Well, I do desperately need money. problem being that I don't have any ink, so... Huh. Do I have to make my own ink, perhaps? To a degree, that would make sense. Oh my. If light were not silent, it would be music. If music were visible, it would be light. I've read each day's light, Tuarog. Tuarog? Tuarog suggests it's faintly touched by the light of every past day, so in the light of every present day, we may begin to understand something of days to come. At least, this appears to be his conclusion, but he stops in mid-sentence, apparently having lost patience with the act of writing or possibly been ambushed. Good news, I get to keep my mirror. Hooray. Does it actually go back where it was? Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciated. On this matter, though. Well, an iron spintria. How promising. You've satisfied your visitor and earned a reward, but the more they learn, the harder they'll be to satisfy in the future. Well, yes, that is sort of the way of things. Still, we take what we can get. And you have been studied. Let's see here. Consider these lessons the auroral contemplations. And this I just need sky for. The issue being that I need a fair amount of sky for it. And that I do not have. Oh, on this matter, though. Cat's Claw in spring, Trumpeter's Lily in summer. But I lack the knowledge needed. Alas. I wonder, can I bother you to provide anything, really? Oh? Speak with Mrs. Killay. Mrs. Killay stands ready to help. You always cheer me up, she says morosely. Seems I don't have anything I can actually speak with her about, but I'm curious now. First time I've been able to actually speak to her. Midwife's assistants. As somber as autumn, as kind as autumn. She also likes her beer. Alright, I can probably make use of this. You've got Grail on you. Good. And I would need 4 Grail. So with your help... Can I speak with them multiple times? We're gonna find out. Because if so, I can get this floor. And if not, well... we'll figure something out, I suppose. There isn't anything here that might provide... A physic garden. The nuns of the Knot planted this garden of healing herbs in the Dawn period. Nathan of Regensburg and Gideon de Wolf both expanded it, and the Curia of the Isle tended it. Even the branch and the bureau made use of it in the grim days that Brankrug served as a prison. Curious. He says. Nothing at all that might serve. Although, I wonder what happens if I consider these things that have nectar. Investigate it. Tell me what you find. I doubt it will be anything, but maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps I'm incorrect. Alright, and then if I speak with you on this memory... Ah, okay, so I can layer on these memories. Nope, no I cannot. Nope. Like, maybe? Okay. Perhaps. If I want to add a lantern, though. Okay. Curious. How could I... See, this says I could give you this. Okay. So in addition, I can use these tools. Okay. So I give them the tool, and then that improves them enough that they might be good enough to unlock this first floor? We can hope. Inlaid with green-stained bone, a memory of touch. Unfortunately not useful in this case. But still. I don't really have anything that'll do exactly what I need. Although, what am I doing? I forgot to add... Ah, dear. Auroral contemplation. To know what will pass and what has happened, the practitioners of the discipline see endings and beginnings, passages and transitions in the same note as dawn and sunset. Faust, which grants me lantern and sky, most importantly. Yesterday's light determines the colors of tomorrow, and we all began in light. I wonder then what I could use to get here. But this and more things for the future. Something I should have done much earlier, but... well. Okay. And now with the midwife's assistance improved greatly, we unlock another building which apparently has some books in it. Merely 2 pence, but we'll take it. Help with letters, sure. Why not, after all? Fascinating bit of work here, but... Let's see here. Sky, though, that's going to be tricky. Very, very tricky. We'll see what memories pop up. I don't think any of this provides me with sky, if I recall correctly. Moon, yes. Moon in abundance, some might say. Which, hold on. No, that does have... Has some mystery to it, but... It might still be above my level? Maybe not, though. Let me take you out. Just as a precaution, you see. Solomon Husher. This bust is the palest white of marble. And hey, 2 books. And a desk. A pale desk. For which lantern is requested. Curious, that. We'll see about that in the future, though. In the meantime... I have no aspects which can view these books. Ah, dear. As you say. Plus a full shilling to fix these. It's a bit much, isn't it? I wish I had, like, a proper set of shelves, honestly. It's all a bit lacking here. Still, once this is all done, I'll have at least 4 lantern just from skills. And that might be enough. I think one of you has lantern as well, if I recall correctly. Which evidently is a very big if, because I don't. There you are. So yeah, I have 5 lantern. I can use that consistently, which is useful. You know what? Consider this. Don't have the soul card to use it with. Irritating. But we'll get to tomorrow and we'll go from there. Let the fleeting reminiscences expire. And now let's consider. Nothing there. Well. Oh, because they have sky in them. I see. Or at least I think I see. Do I have anything that has moon in it? Actually, I do. One moment. but not something that can be used there. Oh well. Something I'll think on later. Right now, at least. An orchard keeper... Orchard keeper, rather. I might be able to use them, but they wouldn't be the ideal. And regardless, I need more resources, so let's go ahead and have a day of just getting more resources. Plain and simple. Oh, hell. Oh, hello. Once you're done considering, we have work to do. Actually, you know, I say that. The Hissing Key. An account of the ascent of the hour called the Mother of Ants by the Bosque scholar Mech of the Theban branch of the House of Leith. But now, on the Hail. Let's see, where were you? False it is. Sky, harmony. I can master this mystery. Enough sky to match the mystery of the sky. And you have Grail. Which, let's look. 4 Grail. Do you have anything that can improve her Grail status? Anything at all? Or I suppose I could push her to become something she isn't. She's got some heart to her. I don't, unfortunately. That's kind of the entire problem, isn't it? Rose, though. Or Winter. Do I have any use for Knock at this stage? I don't believe I do. One more time. Lantern. Which, that being the case... I just don't think I have any use for you, unfortunately. Yeah, because your best stat is Grail, and I have nothing that can add the 2 Grail to you. Unless... Yeah, that gets me an extra heart, but an extra heart isn't nearly enough. No? Perhaps you can introduce me to someone else. No. No. Ah. A mutual acquaintance will introduce me to Denzel the Smith. Or Denzil the Smith. I might get 6 or even 10 words out of him if I'm patient. And he presumably has a little bit of, forge to him, which I might make use of. Denzel is a surprising source of practical advice. The smithy is now available. And a lot more forge is available, too. Well, we'll see what we get out of that first. Speak with Denzel, or also speak with Denzel. Denzel will talk about practical matters, though he prefers to sit in silence. A shilling will buy his help for a day. If you give him occult coinage, he will perform the Servants of Division instead. Service of Division, you say? Well, let's use A. Iron is iron. Fair enough. Just for clarification. Since the time of the Curia, the Smiths of Brankrug have performed the Service of Division for the Librarian, but Denzel only shakes his head. Iron is all he says. Let's see if his help will be sufficient for me. Only one forge? I suppose he is free. Oh, I need to actually... Well, yes. I suppose that's fair. Let me just make sure. Although, can I use Denzel then to open the old rectory? Have I been doing this wrong this whole time? Oh no, he has 2 edge and 2 forge, which I can use. Let's see, where would the best place to use him be, though? I suppose it has to be the first floor. And I want something that improves his forge now. Which actually I could have just used Memory of Foresight and not burnt away quite as many of my resources, but that's fine. Actually, I probably should use that to consider. Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. What happened to my book? Oh yeah, it's still processing. Okay. Red William describes the 7 forms in which he goes about and under the world: viper, cat, fox, eagle, dove, boar, and crow. Abbot Richard ingeniously fits these all into a framework of solar belief. Curious, but also not relevant. And let's see here. Dearest friend, if you would. The windows are tightly closed, the carpets surprisingly clean, but my skin prickles at the watchful presence in the stairwell. We'll need to placate it before we go higher. And somehow, this blacksmith knows how to do that. Curious, too, that he knows about other aspects of the hidden world. According to Abbot Richard, each of Red William's forms is closer to the sun, is increasingly winged with virtue. Richard draws an analogy with the waxen wings of Icarus. Hypocrisy and false virtue will melt before the sun's heat, and so sincerity and untrammeled expression of the self are the utmost piety. It's worth noting that only a year or 2 after Richard wrote this book, John Tregonwell was so appalled by the debaucheries of the monks of St. Brandon's that he recommended the monastery's immediate dissolution. Oh. A memory of fear, though. Curious thing. Consider fur and feathers. And get me my money. Thank you. Hmm. Yeah, might be a whole year before I actually get to work on gathering things. I assume I have some way of making ink. I just don't know what it would be. Let's see if I might use you in some way. The well in the wood, we remember you. When the first hunters were starving in the wood, in the days before its darkening, they found a deep and crimson well. In it they drowned the beasts of the earth, so that the beasts would be reborn threefold, and the hunters could feast. So the Red Grail came to be, and so ever since she feeds us, and she feeds upon us. This the matriarchs of the Knot have taught us. This will grant me health, which is not really something I desire, if I'm going to be completely honest. But I suppose I'm sort of locked in. For good or for ill. No. Well, it is getting to be time to save and quit. But not just yet. It's unexpectedly difficult to raise my foot to the last step before the landing. Leaf shadows drift across my sight, and the windows hiss and rattle. I've heard that Grievous van Loren, last librarian before me, was skilled in the forbidding of ways. Doable, but not really something I want. Similarly, I can make use of you, but unfortunately the memory I need is about to expire. So I might have to go back to other methods of improving my assistance. A tarnished brass sign on the room clearly reads smoking room. Rags of very old smoke sway restlessly, hazing the room beyond, what remains of the protections Van Loren once placed on it, and yet still no sign of a fire. A space for the third librarian. A niche with a plaque, whereof we cannot speak, thereof we must remain silent. The sixth Baron Bankrug. Oh, so these definitely aren't where they belong. All of these statues are in the wrong place. Hold up. Something I will explore later. Something I might need to explore within the books. But yeah, these plaques, they're definitely in the wrong place. I don't know that you are the sixth Baron Bankrug. In fact, I'm quite certain you're not. Weren't they in here somewhere? Yeah, Valentine de Wolf. Hold up. I don't believe you were first, but you we know were number 6th. Or no, do you... There you go. Interesting. So give me a moment. I don't know where he goes in the rankings, as it were. Yeah, the first Baron Bankrug is right there. He might have been 3rd. Not sure, I'm going to find that out later. Hold on. The first Ava. I bet Jeffrey. I bet Thomas Sinmalekne. Serena Blackwood, I don't know where you are in this. Although you are the only Baroness I've been told of, so... For now, you are number 7. And then I must be missing someone else. Hum. Where's another of the Bankrugs? Not this Solomon fellow. Well, I'm going to put them there just for the sake of having them somewhere else. You look like you belong here. Although evidently you don't. Yes, this seems much more suited to, like, a religious... Curious. Divine parchment, pale as the first wisp of mountain cloud. Okay. Where would another statue be? It could be that's in another room, I suppose. I haven't unlocked everything. But no, now that I noticed that, I have to assume it's part of some kind of puzzle. Lignum vitae blank, the hardest of all woods. Oh my. Got a lot of nectar in that too. Curious. Who often purified but was not often pure. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the proper information on this yet. And I don't see where the second Baron is. I know you're correct. You... maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I am curious now. There's gotta be something to do with the statues, right? Damned if I know what it is, but I will learn eventually. Ah, a rose one. The Book of the Centipede. In the mid-1860s, one Madame Yee presented an entertainment-based, she claimed, on this book. Curious, that. But yes, you have been defeated. What that is worth. Well, we have a new mystery to delve into, and quite a bit more beside. However, I find my voice is now quite strained and, well, I, at the very least, need a bit of a break. And perhaps to think on what to do elsewhere. So for now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. And I will see you all soon. In due time. Goodbye for now.